I feel like I forgot to mention something in the video I did on organization. Maximize technology, okay? Maximize technology as much as possible, and I'm recording this so I can make a shorts on how I use technology at home to maximize my time and my rest. Alrighty, let's get into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I do not take your time for granted. Speaking of technology, Siri just interrupted me as I was speaking. Anyways. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dan Bourgeois, aka Brenda. I'm so happy you're here. I do not take your time for granted. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen to what I have to share and just for being here. Thank you for spending the time with me. Thank you for watching my last few videos. If you haven't watched them, they're gonna be here forever, so you can tune in and watch them as well. Remember, the mandate of my channel is to be of service, to make your life slightly easier, and just to add color to the painting of your life. And I hope that the last few videos have been doing just that. If there's some topics you would like me to talk about, please comment in the comment section below. I'm here to be of service. If it's something I don't know enough about, I'm gonna do research, but as long as it's in line with the mandate of my channel, I'm more than happy to speak on it. Also, I want people who are on their entrepreneurship journey, who have been following and listening to me, to please comment, engage, send me a message if you're needing advice. You know, I'm yet to count my millions, but I've been on this journey so many times, so I would love to hear from you. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on any good videos. And remember, we are releasing a new video every Friday. I'm trying to increase the frequency next year, but we'll see how that goes. So the last few videos, we've been doing a series on entrepreneurship traits and core skills that I think you should have as an entrepreneur if you're going to be going on this journey, if you're going to be looking into making your passion and purpose something that's actually realized into a business to give you profit, or just to be able to see your passion and your reason for being, your purpose, your reason for being on earth true. And if you intend to get on this journey, if you intend to make this move, take that step, then I want you to know that these videos are for you. These are traits that maybe you already have, great. If you already have them, maybe I'm just here to refresh your memory, refresh your mind on why they're important. But if you're about to embark on this journey, I'm really hoping that these videos are going to give you just life skills. And if you're not an entrepreneur, you're just somebody who is trying to make the most out of life as an adult, I hope that these videos will benefit you on your journey or whatever stage of life you're in. So with that in mind, let's get into the video for today. Our video today is titled Being a Student for Life. I think people who know me personally know that this is something I always say, which is I go through life as a student. And it doesn't mean that you're a student literally. It doesn't mean that you're a student literally, or that you're still in school, or that you're going to stay in school forever. It's not a physical thing, but it's a mental thing. Being a student for life is a mental thing, and I'm going to talk to you about why it's so important, and just how you can be more of that, and how it is going to make your life better and keep you sharp, keep you updated, and keep you a sponge, so you can always receive what's meant for you in the world, always receive the messages that are sent your way. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. For the first part, just gonna stop here. So yeah, being a student doesn't mean you're a student physically, but it means that you're a student mentally forever. And I just think it's such an important outlook on life, an important skill or trait that you need to have as an entrepreneur, or as somebody who's just going on the journey to maximize your purpose in life. And what do I mean when I say being a student? I mean going through life as though you're still in school, going through life as if every single day is you sitting in a class of life and learning something new. And I'll give you different ways or points of view of going through life as a student and what that really means. So the reason why this concept is so important to me is it keeps me on my toes, right? If I go through life as a student, what that means to me is I can learn from somebody who is 5 years old. I can learn from somebody who is 10 years old. Going through life as a student means that if I'm sitting in an Uber and I'm having a conversation with the driver, I'm not just trying to make small talk. I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm asking myself what I can learn from this situation, from this interaction. Going through life as a student means that if I receive an email that has information that I need, I get the information that I need, but I'm also open-minded to seeing the other stuff that is in the email because I might learn something new. Going through life means that I have to diversify the choice of information that I put into my system. Just because as humans we have a tendency to do the same thing, go for the same thing, be interested in the same things. And so going through life as a student, that's what that means to me. It means constantly learning, never feeling like you know every single thing. It means constantly being in a position where you want to learn. And it also means like constantly challenging yourself. So even if you accomplish all the goals that you have on your list today, challenging yourself to see things differently. You know, one of the reasons why people say don't have political or religious conversations at a dinner table is because we all know that those conversations can take a turn and can become quite final, can lead to finite statements, and they have a tendency to swerve real quick. So one of the reasons why they say that. But in order to put yourself in a position where you can have conversations that are contradictory, conversations that are challenging, you need to be open to challenging yourself to see from the other person's side of you, challenging yourself to let go of the way you see things, challenging yourself to allow yourself to keep an open mind to maybe why somebody else that you love, that runs in the same circle, that has maybe the same blood in veins running as you, sees something different from how you see it. So that's an example of being a student. Another example is just continuing to learn from the world, right? Like I know people who don't like watch the news. I think a lot of our world is full of social media consumption. Granted, social media also shows us what's happening in the news and what's current. That's a benefit, but just being open-minded to seeing other sides of the world and seeing how other people perceive things is what's going through life as a student. Going through life as a student could be, and see which of these you can position yourself in as. See which of these you can use to put yourself in a position where you're going through life as a student. I believe that most CEOs and owners of Fortune 500 companies, they have a lot of particular traits, but I also think that they go through life as students, because when you hear about how Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook in his garage another way of going through life as a student is asking other people for their opinions and for their advice, even when you already have a decision or an opinion of your own. And it just keeps your mind fresh, right? As you get older, we become grounded in the things we believe in, we become grounded in our opinions about things, we become grounded in our way that we want things to be, and that's just normal. And they say you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Well, if that old dog is still a student, I mean, you can teach him whatever. So I'm saying like going through life as a student means that, it allows you to listen to other people's advice and their opinions with an open mind. You can still, I'm not saying you should take people's opinions and make it yours, but pay attention to what other people have to say. Also, proposing new ideas, right? Like when everybody is thinking the same way, ask yourself to think outside of the box. Ask yourself, like, how can I see the situation differently? What other angle can I take to see this situation? And that's being a student, having that fresh mindset, having that fresh outlook on things. Another reason why going through life as a student is important, another point of view, is the more that you learn, the more that you understand how ignorant you are. And ignorance is not a bad thing. Ignorance is not an insult, right? Ignorance simply means that we don't know everything. And a lot of times I feel like we go through so much that we think, wait till I never see. That's what what have I not seen? That's what an African person will tell you. And I just think it's it keeps you boxed, it keeps you in a box, it keeps you narrow-minded. But if you go through life and you learn new things, some things will surprise you that will wake you up to your ignorance. So that will also motivate you to go through life as a student. Going through life as a student also helps you not to make assumptions. How many times have we assumed how somebody was, assumed how something was going to turn out, assumed how a certain thing was going to go, only to be completely surprised? So if you keep your mind in the state of a student, instead of assuming that, oh, I've seen this before, I know exactly how this is going to turn out, it prompts you to ask questions, it prompts you to get curious, it prompts you to seek to understand, why did this person do this? What was the motivation behind this? What backed them in a corner? What were they thinking? What is their vantage point? What is their perspective? And in the process of asking those questions, trying to understand, you're able to make less assumptions. However, there's a dark side. There's a dark side. If somebody who knows me is watching this, they probably know what I'm about to say. There's a dark side to always wanting to know too much. There's a dark side to, I can talk about this at the end. Anyway, so the other thing is, when we stop learning, we start to die, right? They say that people who have Alzheimer's, I think it's Alzheimer's or dementia, I'm sorry for not doing my research, but they say that most people decline faster if their brains are not being used every single day. And that's a medical assessment, right? So just imagine, if you stop using your brain, if you stop playing around with things, if you stop reading, if you stop listening to the radio, anything that we stop means that muscle in our body that we used to use has stopped doing its function, and so we're starting to die. So you can take that statement literally, and you can also take it mentally, you can also take it emotionally, you can take it as a saying. But the truth is, if we keep our minds open, keep our minds fresh, we're always learning. But if you think you know everything, I feel like you miss out on learning. And when we choose that we know everything, and we choose that we're gonna stay at this is who I am, I is what I is, if we stick to what we know, then we start to kill the function of that particular part of our brains or our bodies or whatever. So I think it's just important to always keep learning. And I always have to take it back to my Christians in the room. How many times have you opened up the Bible and you've read the same Bible passage, but you've gotten something completely different from it? And that's because you want to always stay fresh minded when you present yourself to the Lord, right? So you can read, the Lord is my Lord is my helper, I shall not want, today, and you're thinking about your needs and what you want. The next time you read, the Lord is my helper, I shall not want, and you're thinking about something that you lost. So I feel like even as a Christian, being able to stay open-minded, being able to know that, being able to stay open-minded, being able to stay receptive. If you just wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what, as I step out today, I'm going to be receptive, I'll be open-minded, let me let go of the things that I'm thinking about. And they say insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? So let's just say you've been doing things your way for a long time and you've been doing good. Imagine how much more you would do good if you had a little more information. Imagine how much more knowledge you could have if you as one person can have all the knowledge that you have. Imagine combining what you have with what somebody else have, with what somebody else has, and seeing what that can bring. The downside is, as human beings, we always see, because our opinions may differ from somebody else, we see it with the glasses or the frame of a rival. We see it with the glasses or the frame of opposition. We see it with the glasses or the frame of opposite. But if you think about it like life and all information being the pieces of a puzzle, then we realize that the information I have is one piece. Information I get from school is another piece. Information I get from my church is another piece. Information from girlfriends is another piece. Wisdom from your parents is another piece. So if we put ourselves in the position to see opinions and see people's perspectives as other pieces to the puzzles of our lives, I feel like we're more receptive to the information. And that's being a student, because when you go to school and you want to do an accounting degree, for example, the registrar's office gives you a list of courses that you have to take. For every single class that you attend, you know that that class is a piece of the puzzle to that degree that you want to get. So you don't go into a class this next semester and you're like, oh, I wonder how different this is going to be from the class I took last semester. I wonder if this teacher is going to be better than the teacher last semester. You go in there and you're like, I need to do good at this course. It's another exam I need to pass so that I can get my degree. So if we approached information, if we approached interactions, if we approached relationships as a student and just took everything that we got from it as one more lesson that we need as a piece of the puzzle to our lives, imagine how much knowledge you're going to pick up. So I just want to encourage you today. I haven't finished my list, but I just wanted to get that out. Also, another way of being a student permanently in life is like putting yourself in rooms where you're the least knowledgeable or the least intelligent, and that could look like hanging out with older people. I think in one of my videos I talked about how I like to talk to old people and I like to hear the wisdom that they've acquired throughout their lives. I like to know what they wish they knew at my age and things like that. So I think that that's one easy way to be in rooms that you're the least intelligent. But I also think that that's a daunting task. So sometimes it's like you don't walk into a room and you're like, I think I will be the least smart in this one. So I just feel like if you're open-minded in all the rooms that you find yourselves in, it'll be easier for you to be receptive, whether the people are the most intelligent or not, whether it's younger people or not. There's so much you can. So another thing is, big deal, reading books. I know that sounds so cliche, but honestly, when we were younger, I feel like it was daunting to ask people to read books, right? Because you had to have bought the book, have access to the book. I remember how hard it was to come across Harry Potter when it came out and I was in high school. But I feel like in today's day and age, books come in audio, books come in summaries. There's apps that are meant to just summarize books for you. There's Google Goodreads. There's Goodreads book reviews where people's comments are just book summaries. So I just feel like there's no excuse. I just want to encourage you to read. Read books on things you're interested in. Don't make it difficult. If you love sports, read sports books. Read biography on sports champions. Read books. Read subjects that you're not used to. I have a book in my library on Vikings that I bought last year, and my goal is I have to read it before the year ends. So I like Viking movies. I've never read a book on Vikings, so that would be interesting. But read, open your mind, and I feel like that keeps you up as a student, right? And also, this one is a little bit personal. I'm working on it, is trying to be the last to speak in the room. And I just find that when you're the last to speak, you're always waiting for other people to finish what they have to say. And part of waiting for them to finish what they have to say means you're listening to what it is they had in mind to say. And so I find that if you're in a room or you're in a community of people, sometimes being the last to speak can allow you to keep that student mindset, can allow you to keep that childlike mindset of being receptive to what they have to say. And active listening means that you're listening to understand them so that you can also respond to what they're saying, not just listening to respond. And as you listen to understand people and to respond to what people are saying, you're understanding whatever it is they're saying that is new to you. You're understanding whatever it is they're saying that you've never heard before. And so you're learning again as a student. So I always say that, So how to become and stay a student for life, right? I'll give you a few. How many do I have here? I have 5. I have 5 ways to become and stay a student for life. Number 1, turn your mistakes into opportunities. Mistakes are always about how you see it, right? And when you make a mistake, I feel like if you do, should I say it? You already know. self-assessment. If you do a self-assessment and you do an introspection after the mistake occurred, you're able to identify the areas where you think you would have done a better job, the areas where you think you would have done something different. And also, I like to ask myself, like, God, what is this situation here to teach me? What is this mistake here to teach me? Some mistakes are costly, and some of them we can get by with losing very little. And I just, we, like, again, for my Christians in the room, we rely on the grace and the mercy of God. We rely on his protection. We rely on staying under his armor, right? But at the same time, when we make mistakes, if we just make mistakes and our natural response is it's that person's fault, they shouldn't have, I feel like we miss what that lesson is here to teach us. So one way to stay a student in life is to ask yourself what the mistake is there to teach you, and see the mistake as a learning opportunity, not an obstacle. Even when you make a mistake financially in trying to have a business, you can also apply this, as a tool and say, what should I have done differently? Should I have processed this decision before I made it? Watch my video on logical decision making. The second thing is, like I said, try new things often. I mentioned reading books on subjects that you're not interested in, but try things, change your routines. I drink coffee every morning and I just feel like, maybe I should try tea. Try new things to keep your mind open. And the thing with trying new things is that you can stumble on opportunities, you can meet your destiny helpers, you can stumble on open doors, you can stumble on things that you need, right place, right time, right? When you're trying new things. When you're in your routine is predictable. So staying open as a student means trying new things. Then keep a list. I think every year people set goals and stuff, but keep a list of things you want to learn. Like, I want to learn a new language, I want to learn how to I want to learn how to ice skate. Keep a list of things that you want to learn and give yourself, the goal to try to get to those things. I'll say every year or so. It's for your own benefit, right? I know that goals are like an old-fashioned thing, but there's a reason why they've been in the world for so long, because I think goal setting actually works. That's why people use it. So keep that list. And then obviously I'm here on YouTube because I think I try to nurture my hobbies and projects, and I just think that it's important to keep your hobbies going, keep your projects going. Don't let go of it. I feel like we have so much to consume our time. We have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, and all those things are good. Just make sure that the things that you love are also in the list of what's taking your time, right? So if you have hobbies, crafts that you would like to do, projects, make sure that you're also adding those things into your into the list of where you're spending your time and where you're giving your effort, because keeping your mind sharp in things that you love are things that will keep you as a student, right? Constantly researching new things. Also, I feel like this obviously doesn't apply to some of us who are kind of far gone, but I feel like choose a career that motivates you to keep learning, or like nudges you to keep learning, like gives you that little extra itch. Like careers that come with when you have to research your project, or careers that are not dormant, that don't lack intellectual thinking, intellectual freedom. Try and stay away from careers that don't charge your brain. I think I worked as a accounts payable analyst, I think it was, after school. And I am not knocking any jobs. I feel like you have to do what is okay for you and what you can do at the time. But I do know that as a job, even though that's what I studied in school, I just found that it was Groundhog's Day every single day. And depending on your personality type, you might need extra motivation. I feel like for me, I need that extra brain stimulation, and so I had to find something else or think about my career a little deeper, which I did. So that's just another thing that you can do. So I just want to encourage you to go through life as a student. When you have a conversation with your young niece or your child, like, just be open-minded. It will surprise you what you can learn from younger people, or what you can learn from older people. I say that, I'll just use this opportunity to say, I feel like this generation really discounts the elders. we discount our elders, we don't give them the same reverence. You know, we are so technologified, we're so ahead of the curve, you know, we're so trendy that we don't give regard to our elders, to older people. And I think what we don't realize is they did more with less than we will ever do. We have so much accessibility, so much advantage, so much technology, so much. I already mentioned access. Like we have, you open your computer and you can access anybody. You open your computer and you can access any job. We have so much, and I feel like we are still doing very little compared to what they had, to what they did, and they had severely less. What that tells me is there's lessons in older people, there's lessons to be had, lessons to be learned in conversations with older people, conversations with parents, conversations with grandparents. You know, ask questions, ask for opinions. I understand that we live in a completely different time compared to when they lived in it, but our time is also completely saturated with distractions. So I do think that if you ask questions to people who can answer you when their experience was in a simpler time, maybe you get the 1+1 of your issues instead of the considerations and the thoughts and the distractions in current times. So I'm taking it too far, but go through life as a student. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're just an adult, whether you're just somebody who is trying to make their lives better, going through life as a student is going to keep your mind open, is going to keep you learning, is going to keep you fresh, is going to keep you youthful, is going to keep you aware, you know. And this message goes for me as well. You know, I have to remind myself every day to go through life as a student. I have to remind myself every day, you know, sometimes I get tired of learning, Biko, I'm not lying, but I have to try. And you know, my husband will tell you that, oh, can't wait to say that in public. Okay. Anyways, so thank you again for spending the time with me today. Thank you for putting up with my rambling. I'm working on it. My call to action for you today is to be intentional about learning something new from an unusual place. Be intentional about learning something new from an unusual place, and just enrich your life with information that you consider benign. Enrich your life with information that you consider unnecessary, because you just never know where the missing piece of the puzzle for your life is going to be found. So just stay open-minded. I think that if you look at the lives of people that we know, they all do the same. So yeah, so just stay fresh. Remember to download my free purpose and passion resource in the comment section below. It was created just for you guys. That's the only reason I made it coming to YouTube. Took me so many hours, so I would hate to see it go to waste. So please download it for free. Also remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. My 237 people share the video. Anyways, I love you guys for watching, and remember, I know you're saying it, I know, I can hear you, stay in service because the world needs you.